counting your nairas and your kobos, because that's what we're talking about very, very shortly. Now, you see, before I start, I want you to do me a favor. All right, do me a favor. Okay, check your if you have receipts. Or if your bank app sends you messages, or you can go into your bank app, right? Go into your bank app and check how much you have spent in surcharges or commissions in the past month alone. Please check, and I'll tell you why. Now, remember last year, there was a very huge problem that this country faced. In fact, some would even go as far as saying that it was probably the first time anywhere that they had traveled to on the African continent or even outside that they experienced such a problem. And that was this scarcity of physical cash. Now, ultimately, I think the solution to this problem is for more people to use digital payment platforms for their transactions. End of story. That's what I believe. It works for me, and I believe a lot of people will share the same sentiment. I do know, however, that you need physical cash to operate on a day-to-day basis. That's why in some establishments you have a role where they call petty cash, yes, for miscellaneous expenditure and whatnot. I'm not an accountant, but at least I remember that from my economics examinations back then in secondary school. So the big gym that we're doing this morning, you see, over the weekend I needed cash, right? And I was reminded of my disdain. I have to say this. I was reminded of my disdain of the POS agents that we have in this country. Because I was charged, the lady who I wanted to, I was trying to get, I was going to the market. I like to cook Thursday, Friday. I was going to the market and the lady was going to charge me, I think she said $3.50 or something. I was like, why? What's this excuse this time? All right. And she made a statement. Oh, bros, we did buy the money. Remember the same thing that happened last year? All right. But wait for this. Wait for this. So I walked away. I said, no, I'm not going to do this. Eventually, I found somebody who offered a decent, commission. Now, the way the business works, I'm sure everybody knows now, is these agents, they are an intermediary between you and the banks. Unlike before, where we would like to go to the ATMs, stay on the queue, withdraw our money and go away, these guys will have the cash and then you can carry out some transactions. Now, they've become so integral to businesses that sometimes, right, as early as 7:30 in the morning, nay, let me rephrase, as early as 6:30 in the morning, because I've seen them at 6:30 in the morning in my area, and when you walk past, they say, POS, cashback, POS, at 6:30 in the morning. Some of these stores, some of these stands have a small queue waiting to carry out transactions. I find it helpful, let's not deny it. However, my question this morning is as to their operations. Now, my question is this: should stricter rules be enforced? Because these POS agents, some of them would tell you, hey, 300 naira for some amount, all right? And then a bit of a Nigerian factor comes in, you're like, oh, you want to haggle. But I find it very worrisome that we even got to this point in the very first case. The last time I was at the ATM, I was incensed that I took up my time on the queue. All right, and then I want to withdraw what the bank says, any transaction less than 100,000 naira, do it outside. All right, fair enough. I want to do it outside. I'm on the queue waiting to collect my 1,000 naira, my 5,000 naira. And then some person is on the queue with 5 different ATM cards. 5 different ATM cards collecting 100,000 naira each. By the time it gets to my turn, hey, the machine is tired of coffee. Indispensable. Unable to dispense cash at the moment. Please try again later. What? Why? How is that fair? Now, I know some people will come through now with sentiment and say, oh, it's the nature of the business. The banking sector is not very good. If not, people will be going out to the ATMs. Maybe that's the case. But if you are a money agent, a POS agent, right? One would expect that you should have regular sources or places that people go, and as it were, you can be able to obtain cash. But no, these guys, based on the Nigerian factor, have ingeniously ingrained themselves in almost every aspect of our economy, that when you go to some places these days, they won't even give you cash. Why? You know why? Because they're waiting to sell to the POS agents, who will probably buy maybe 500 million naira, 400,000 naira, 100,000 naira, give them amount. Then when Jude now wants to go to the market to go and buy his pepper and crayfish and plantain, they tell him for 1,000 naira, pay 50 naira. Doesn't make sense, because this is where I think there's a big problem. Not only will I pay this person the commission, my bank also surcharges me at the same time. So I'm making multiple charges or multiple payments to use my own money. Back to the question now. Should stricter rules be enforced for POS agents, or are you okay with the status quo?
The views and opinions shared on this program do not represent the position of Nigeriainfo FM. Nigeriainfo, let's talk.
And now, hello, Port Harcourt, with Jude on 92.3 Nigeriainfo.
All right, so let's talk. As always, please turn down the volume of your radio set. Refrain from making derogatory or defamatory comments. Didn't see or hear, please do not make mention of it on the program. And above all, please keep your comments simple. At Nigeriainfo.ph, at Nigeriainfo.ph is where you will find us on Facebook and on X at Nigeriainfo.ph, at Nigeriainfo. PH is where you will find us on Facebook and on X. And then WhatsApp and Telegram number is 0809-030-6416. 0809-030-6416. That's where you will find us on that platform, talking about WhatsApp. All right, so please don't call that number. All right, and then for the phone lines, 0817-923-0007, 0817-923-0003. All right, as always, please, let's have a decent conversation. Turn down the volume of your radio set. All right, 0817-923-0007, 0817-923-0003. Zion is in GRA. Zion, good morning to you, please. Welcome to Hello Port Harcourt.
Yeah, Jude, good morning to you.
Good morning.
Total law should not be limited on this POS operation.
All right.
Because they are there to stand as intermediary between Nigerians and the bank.
Fair enough.
Jude, have you seen any American documentary, Chinese documentary, or Europe documentary that you see POS stand on the streets?
Interesting.
Nigeria is a country that breeds criminality.
It's not just in Nigeria. It's almost everywhere in Africa. I've seen POS stands almost everywhere.
No, we are here. Leave Africa. We are talking about Nigeria here.
Okay, let's leave it to Nigeria.
Yes. Why should we even have POS stands where people should go get money when there is a bank? The bank and these POS people are doing business. And the bank is catching out majorly from the POS people. And the POS people is in turn dealing with the customers and Nigerians.
Say dealing with the customers.
The CBN governor is incompetent. That office is too big for him. He can't expand to occupy the office. by right, by now, all POS stand would have been shut down.
But you know, Zion, if you do that, you're going to be sending at least 1 million plus people back into the unemployment lines.
It is a criminal offense for what these people are doing. They are selling your naira in your country. It's a criminal offense. And that is what they don't see, because a lot of them are benefiting from it. Dude, listen to me carefully, sir, and put this on record. This day, the civilian governor or a bank manager is no longer benefiting from POS people. He will shut down POS operation in Nigeria.
Okay.
Or in that state.
All right.
As long as he's benefiting, it's a sale business. Why should PM in the bank not dispensing money? Why? Is that didn't they give them money, allotted money for them for that week?
Let's hear from Victor. Victor is in Port Harcourt as well. Victor, good morning to you, please.
Good morning, Sajid.
Good morning, Victor.
I think my learned colleague, Mr. Zion, has said almost 50% of what I want to say. I will just buttress on it. I don't like this concept of Nigeria trying to solve a problem by creating a bigger one. We wanted to operate on cashless.
Okay.
Fair and good to limit money supply to the public. But I do not understand the concept where a bank will not have money, but the nearest POS agent sitting close to it will have money. I don't get it. How do I explain to my children that the POS agent has money to give to me, and the bank that they are taught in school are supposed to be the agent of distributing money do not have money? And nobody is questioning this thing. The worst of it all, like you said, they will charge me, my bank will charge me. And when you say something, they look at you as somebody who probably is an alien or maybe is not part of the system. So, like he said, the day they start benefiting from the system, they will stop. But for now, as far as they are benefiting, we can only cry foul and nothing will happen. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. Mira is not cricket. Mira, stricter measures for POS operators, agents?
Good morning.
Good morning, please.
Thank you, Jude. Look, Jude, I think there was a post I saw on social media with a white man holding a money. POS is get fraud in history. And it got me thinking, and so many thoughts came to my mind. Jude, what I think is that the system just should be applied, should be the bank, not on the POS officers, honestly. What I think should be that all these POS I don't think it is right. You see that majority of bank customers we patronize these POS guys because of the stress of going to the bank. People go to the bank too. When there were no POS services and there were no ATM, you see that the banks were so crowded.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Why bank officers to bring out their ATM.
The ATM.
The machine where we go to withdraw. Is it automatic teller?
The machine, the automatic tellers, the ATMs.
Yeah, so that people to withdraw cash to go to the bank to outside to withdraw. But I think banks should send their agents. Wow, just like the POS agent. The bank should be paying these their agents. And when their customers go to withdraw from them, they should not charge up. We should not be charged at all.
Okay.
We make it easy for them.
Okay.
So they should not charge us. These are the agents, stations, and bank stations around there. Stations around the local junctions and streets. You know, so when we go withdraw from our money, should not be charged. They collect the money, they save it, they use it in business. And then we go for POS, and the POS, they charge us. Three charges what we don't withdraw the money. The POS agents will charge you. The bank will remove at least one.
Yeah, but they charge you. They charge you because according to the few who I spoke to over the weekends, that they also buy the money. They have to go to places to buy the money, and apart from buying the money, they use the same keke, the same cars like you do to transfer themselves from wherever they do to come there.
These people, these POS agents, should be their own agents. You know, they give them money, they don't want to themselves. That people can combination with them at different points. The bank should be paying their agents. Which when we get to those agents, they don't charge us. So just people for collecting our money, the banks will charge us. The charges are too much. It's a very big scale going on. The banks are making a lot of money.
Oh, okay. All right, Muriel. We'll go for a quick break. When we come back, we'll hopefully hear from some POS agents.
Hey, Nana! Welcome, my friend. Children
this morning. My name is Jude, and we're talking about POS operations here in Nigeria. And I'm asking, do you think stricter, measures should be enforced in that particular sector? Now, when I say stricter, no one's by any means insinuating that they should have to pay taxes or increase fines, or like we hear some unscrupulous elements within the Port Harcourt metropolis who are going around harassing these individuals who are actually trying to do a legitimate business, or at least they're trying to legally earn their own pay without carrying guns or knife or maltreating any other person. Right? So I don't support I'm not speaking personally, but I'm just saying a lot of people I have, engaged with that are very incensed as to their operations. They are basically like vendors. They're like walking around, and then they have registrations, and they pay taxes and whatnot, and then people are coming around to tell them to pay all those kind of things. I don't think they're actually comfortable with. However, when we talk about stricter rules for POS agents, people are talking about the margins for the commissions that they earn. Now, ideally, these services, should be such that people feel very comfortable using them and don't necessarily feel blackmailed using them. But as with many things in this country, people have come to the point where they accept it, even though there are some excesses, and then they work with the system. One way to, as it were, transfer the burden to the next person. It's little wonder why when you get to certain establishments and you say, oh, look, I would like to pay for this item, but I don't have my card, or I want to make a transfer. Now, we know some people have sadly become so corrupt that they now have fake transfer alerts. So some people will tell you, we don't do transfers. We don't accept. And if you transfer, we will wait for our own confirmations, right, before we give you the item, right? And then some people will tell you, okay, see, this thing are just cash. Particularly when you go to the market. I remember last year, if you remember, when you went to go and buy pepper, crayfish, tomato, it was a very trying. See that particularly just before the elections, the general elections last year, and after the elections, right? It was a very difficult period that time to go around trying to buy, oil, crayfish, fufu, plantain. It was a big problem. But now all of that is in the past. We've learned, we've adapted. The CBN has made, some great strides to mitigate those issues. But the current problem, right, that many Nigerians are experiencing, let's come down to Port Harcourt, are complaining about is the surcharges by these POS operators. One even said, Jude, see, it's not because we just want to increase money, but because of the inflation. All right. First and foremost, taxi fares have gone up and yada, yada, yada. Yeah. So the surcharge that we would have taken, those days used to be, before the whole drama, it used to be 15 naira for, I think it was 15 naira for 5,000 naira, right? Or less than 5,000 naira. Then 10,000 naira and above used to be 100 naira commission for them to get you the cash. Now, like I said, I understand the nature of the business, but how the business has evolved, particularly in the past 2 years, is calling for a lot of attention. Do you think stricter measures need to be enforced in that particular sector? Maybe the banks are to blame. Maybe they are the ones that should be fined, not necessarily the POS agents.
The views and opinions shared on this program do not represent the position of Nigeriainfo FM. Nigeriainfo, let's talk.
Hello, Port Harcourt, with Jude on 92.3 Nigeria Info.
So 0817-923-0002, 0817-923-0007, 0817-923-0002, 0817-923-0007. WhatsApp and Telegram available with the number 0809-030-6416. Please permit me to repeat, 0809-030-6416. That number is strictly for the reception of messages. All right, so don't call that number. Right, let's get to the messages. All right, now someone says, "Can you give the POS operators a chance to call and share their story?" Please do call. We're not here to say they are bad or they are good. We want to find out how it can be better for everybody. That's the basis of this conversation. All right, Nonso is in Port Harcourt. Nonso, good morning to you, please.
Yeah, good morning. I want to talk about this POS operators and their charges and all that kind of stuff.
Good morning, Nonso.
So what I want to say, and also what people are saying about the bank, they are giving POS operators money and all those kind of stuff. I'm into that because the bank are giving us money. If you can ask what they're doing with their money. But even so many people that into the business and don't give us money, when the bank will tell us that what they can do to offer 5,000. So what will they do with it? We can tell you money. We are not taking money back.
So where do you get the money from, Nonso?
We take money in the market. We need the money. We go to the market.
Okay.
Make sure those markets in there. We talk money from them. They will give us their account number. We talk money to them and print out the print out for them. Bank is not giving us money. They should ask bank where they take the money to. It's not giving us money.
The problem, because the banks are not giving the agents money. That they go to the market. At least he speaks for himself, right? Maybe they go to the market and then they collect the money from the traders, transfer to their own accounts, because obviously it saves them. That's why I said earlier on that these agents actually are acting as intermediaries, and to be fair, the service that they render, right, has led to a bit of a smoothing of the banking process. People don't necessarily have to go to the banking hall. If you're in the banking hall, that means you have a major issue. But you just want to transfer money from one point to the other point, you don't necessarily need to go to the banks any longer. That's why they are there in the first case, right? Ola is speaking to us from LMA. Ola, good morning to you, please.
Yeah, good morning once again.
Welcome, Ola.
I don't want to blame this on the bank. The bank have made a policy that this is how much you will get from the ATM, 5,000 naira. Now, the POS merchants, they go to the ATM and position. The moment they load the bank, they will withdraw everything there. Then go back to their center to begin to dispense, which is a normal business at times. Those of them that we call, ask them how much is the official charge that the bank charge them from transferring. Because I transfer from my bank, I think the charge is not more than 15 naira, 20 naira, not 15 naira. So let's talk about them sourcing for money. Many of them are too greedy when it comes to getting money. You know very well that you will pay transport to the bank. You will pay transport to wherever you source money. Then when I bring 20,000 naira for you to deposit into my account, you should be happy to take it free. You're able to transfer it for me free. But if you want to charge me for the money I'm bringing to
because they'll tell you that the banks also charge them for carrying out that transaction. That's what I hear.
That's what I tell you. When they call in, I ask them, how much is the bank charging them? I am bringing the money to you. You're no longer going to source for it or suffer to get it. I have brought my money to you. You are still charging me like something else. The worst place to go and do POS is inside UPTH. Because they see how desperate you are. That your person condition is critical. You need money to make payment. They will charge you 500 naira, 400 naira.
Till today?
This is absolute wickedness.
Are you speaking recently or from last year?
Recently, sir. Recently. This is right now. Go send someone to UPJ to collect QS. You will see how much they will charge you. It's the worst place to go and withdraw money for at the moment in Port Harcourt.
Interesting. All right, Ola. Thank you very much. Ola speaking from LM. Okay. All right. Now, Brightner says most POS operators started charging exorbitantly. Imagine a POS operator charging 700 naira for 10,000 naira. In fact, POS business is now the reigning thing. Imagine paying 1,000 naira for 15,000 naira. There should be some restrictions with the charges of these POS operators. Brightner from Woji. Good morning, Jude. In my estimation, banks are majorly the problem. They deliberately make the ATMs not to work so that they can sell these monies to the POS agents and make more money. That's how wicked we are in this country. All right. You've been okay. Try to download the Nigeriainfo app, but it's not working. All my efforts Okay, please, once again, let me reply this. If you're having challenges getting the app, you can use the web handle. That's the website www.nigeriainfo.fm. All right, that could help. Timothy is in Woji. Timothy, good morning to you.
Yes, good morning, Jude.
Good morning, please.
Yes, concerning the conversation we're having this morning, I think it's a very sad thing, especially in the cities like Port Harcourt and other cities. If you go to some of all these villages, the POS charge is not this exorbitant. That being said, most of the blame should go to our government because they have a failed system. The system is not working. When the former governor started cashless policy, I laughed because you've not provided the facilities. You are doing cashless policy. From my local government in Delta State, there's no bank in the entire local government, which is an oil producing area.
What area is that? What area is that?
Ndukwa East local government area in Delta State.
No bank in the whole Ndukwa East.
No bank. Ndukwa East has 21 clans, not villages. So these clans are made up of villages. 21, but they don't have any single bank. But they have gas, they have oil. So now, how will cashless policy work in such places? So the government have to put a system in place where we don't need these POS operators anymore. Today, all the banks don't have cash. What is the cause? So I agree with those people that are saying the bankers have a hand in it. So when the government puts things in place, I think everything will work. That also does not exonerate we, the citizens, who take advantage of everything to exploit the people. It's really not good. We should try to change. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Timothy, speaking to us from Woji. All right, let's get some WhatsApp messages and I get to read some of them. Now, this one says, we like deceiving ourselves in this country. Everyone knows why they won't put money in the ATM because POS close by have cash. Any amount you need, we know that the businesses that they are doing there. Now, it just shows the character of a Nigerian. If I collect 50,000 naira, I was supposed to collect from the bank, and I collect 50,700 instead at the POS, I will use it to buy yam and increase my price too. And the bank selling this money will one way or the other buy food at an expensive rate. Tomorrow, they will blame government. We should continue. Ernest from Moji. Like I said, somebody always gets to pay. You transfer the burden to the next person. That's another way inflation, is sustained. Like I said, some of the attendants I spoke to said, Jude, the inflation has hit. You can't expect us to make any gain, because the reason why we're in this business, apart from providing a service, is to make profit. We have families too. If it costs us 200 naira to come to this place, now it's costing us 300 naira, sometimes 350 naira to come. And this is apart from the inconveniences, the stress or stresses that they would have to go to obtain the monies. And let's not forget, there are also security challenges as well. But Zion does have a point, though. Remember, he said it's criminal because basically what's going on, right, is people selling your own naira, your own currency, your own identity, your own representation to you. Good morning, Jude. To me, the POS agents are not the cause of the problem, but our banks. I went to a bank here at Choba and I was told that there is no cash because customers no longer deposit money. Oh, really? Customers no longer deposit money? Jude, when was the last time you saw the new Naira notes in circulation? Could it be that the CBN no longer send money to commercial banks again? There's more to this than our eyes can see. Okay. Now, see, this is why I like conversations with you guys. So now you give me enough information, enough feedback. We then get to look for I guess we'll get one of those banking people and say, hey, come on, CBN people, can you explain this into us? Yes, and let the public know exactly what it is you are doing and what you are not doing in this particular scenario. Okay, let's go on. This one says, this present cash crush is masterminded by the banks. From statistics available during 2023, the cash crunch in Nigeria, the average bank made up to $1 billion profit margin weekly. Really? So upon the federal government renewed 500 billion naira recapitalization campaign, a lot of banks now dubiously resolve into applying and revoking the cash crush profit era to meet their limitations. So as for now, Nigerians are funding the bank's 500 billion naira recapitalization fund about to be imposed by the federal government. As for Mr. Zaya, really interesting. Okay, if you say so. So another interesting request again. Been getting a lot of these recently. Joyce, I've seen your message. We get a lot of these messages.
Yes.
Austin is on the line. Austin, good morning to you, please.
Yeah, good morning, Jude. How are you?
Very well. Thank you for calling, please.
Yeah. You see, Jude, people say when the drumbeat changes, a wise dancer changes his dance step. You see, it's high time Nigerians realize that it is cashless policy. It's not as if I'm not advocating for what is going on, no. But then I have come to realize that a lot of Nigerians like to hold cash.
Mm.
Do you understand? You should make use of your phone. You do transfers. You use your ATM card. You go to shops. You buy things and all that. People still, they still have that mentality of holding a lot of money, keeping a lot of money.
Mm.
No, it doesn't work that way. You see, with all these things going on, I don't have any complaints. I know how I spend my money. I don't like holding cash. You understand?
Yeah.
That is what it should be. Nigerians should at least try to follow it the other way around and not to depend on going to banks, going to ATMs, getting bulky money, keeping at home. No. Those days are gone. We should change and help ourselves. You understand? That's my take.
All right. Thank you very much. Daniel is speaking to us from Imo Gate. Daniel, good morning to you, please.
Good morning, my brother Jude.
Good morning. Welcome.
Yes. The issue we are looking at, just like the last caller has said, I looked at it that the reason why Emefiele is in prison now, yes, let me use the word prison or correctional center or whatever,
is detained.
Making him not to be free now, is because of this cashless policy. They are driving it here and there. And Nigerians, being whom we are, in every policy, we use it as a yardstick to cash from it. That is the bankers. There's no way you can tell me that bankers are not selling the cash to these POS operators. And the POS operators are the bankers themselves. Let us tell ourselves the truth. Whenever I call on radio, I say it's prison. There's no way you look at it. If not that the bankers are selling this cash, they own these POS operators. Simple. Daniel from Imogeto.
Okay, all right, thank you very much. So once again, we're asking you. The question is: should the operations be streamlined? Should they be stricter for these POS agents? Maybe that would improve the services at the end. Because let's be very honest, they are actually mitigating a challenge. That's the challenge of going to the banks and spending queues. But ironically, like I said earlier on, these days 6:30, 7 a.m. in the morning, there's a queue. There are queues at several, particularly the very well established POS agents. But if we, just in case you've forgotten, this idea, this retail like banking, grassroots banking, has spread across all of Africa. And the idea was to bring the banks closer. They were initially money agents. They were registered. So you have Bank ABC have like an agent on Jute Street. You know, it's a small store. You see the bank logo and everything. You come there, you do your transaction, and then you go. That agent then takes whatever it is, whether it's money or whatnot, and then comes to the bank and drops it. So that way you don't have to come through. That was the surcharge, the commission that they were making. And they made a lot of money. And that's the reason why they've spread so much. They're everywhere. The fact that they're everywhere is not a bad thing. But the question is, now that people are talking about multiple commissions, you want to collect 1,000 naira or 5,000 naira on average, you're paying 150 naira. Then after you pay the 150 naira, you then have your bank now remind you that we are collecting this 50 naira or this 20 naira for this transaction, SMS charge, maintenance fee, you know, card looking like a brand new piff puff puff kind of. They're everywhere. All right, most bank staff are running the POS business, so they hijack the money. Now, Arcelia says, Jude, it is a cashless policy. Yes, we understand. Do you know when you opt to make a card or cardless transfer service on purchase, they will ask for extra 50 naira on top? You are another problem. Look, ultimately, I think the policy itself is great, but the implementation is where a lot of Nigerians have been. Of the opinion that there should be some measure of control, monitoring, you know, to prevent these variance. And the variance is really amazing. It's really amazing. You want to withdraw cash at this junction, you probably spend 100 naira more. You get another junction remote code, it's like 50 naira less, you know. So, but then again, like someone said, it's because you still are adamant on holding cash. Pay with your card, or make a transfer. One of the best feelings I have these days is paying for bread with a transfer. I like that feeling. Anyway, we'll pause here, and I'd like to thank you for joining us. Tomorrow we'll talk about cars, right? It's Tuesday. I have something to share with you on that. News comes up your way very shortly. And since we are talking about money, you know me now, let me remind you guys of a hit about money. Thank you very much. My name is Jude.